LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one day.
Okay, so get this. Caitlyn Clark has just signed a hefty LPGA contract. And believe me, Jay Wilson isn't staying quiet about it. The news essentially blew apart the WNBA world, and now social media is in complete upheaval. That's as if one athlete's tremendous win became another's major headache, and this entire situation exemplifies that. So, what do you think? Was Jay's reaction genuine annoyance, or was it simply jealousy? Okay, let's go into this turmoil because everyone in sports is talking about it. Caitlyn Clark, the face of women's basketball, is a ratings magnet and the queen of endorsements. She recently acquired a sponsorship arrangement with the LPGA Tour. Yes, you heard that correctly. A full contract, not a short picture op. So this contract is rumored to be worth millions. We're talking cross-promotion events, major brand features, and marketing rights that extend through the 2026 season. Essentially, it associates her image with women's golf as a symbol of feminine strength and physical prowess. But here's what's insane. The internet exploded as soon as the press release was published. Most admirers were completely supportive, saying, "Good for her. She deserved it." But some familiar faces in the WNBA weren't too pleased. That's where Jay Wilson steps in. She's now too media savvy to identify Clark, but she didn't even have to. She put out one tweet and every sports blog had a headline right away. Her tweet read, "So you're telling me you can miss shots and still get golf money now?" That was all it required. Seconds later, supporters responded, essentially asking, "Just say Caitlyn Clark already, because let's be real, who else could she have been talking about?" Caitlyn Clark's name has literally become a trigger for half the league. Every step she takes, every contract she signs, and every photo she uploads, someone somewhere loses it. And the LPGA deal took things to a whole new level. Let's be quite clear here. Caitlyn Clark has earned more money in 2 years than most WNBA players do in their entire careers. That is just a fact. There is no criticism involved. She has become a marketing goldmine that the league desperately needed. The disadvantage is that all of this success is making other big performers look like extras in their own films. Think of Jay Wilson. 2 MVP awards, numerous championships, and a resume most players would kill for. However, when it comes to sponsorships, she barely engages in the conversation. That, my friend, is the true reason this story exploded. It's not just about Clark's golf contract. It's about a league that is completely split down the middle. You've got the old guard up against this new star power. Clark is the media's latest obsession. She is fresh, highly marketable, and sponsors adore her. Wilson represents the grind. The player who dominated well before the cameras arrived. So when that LPGA deal was announced, Jay's tweet was more than simply a covert dig. It was a complete battle cry, and you can't blame her for being upset about it. Ryan, the timing was not ideal. She recently finished a tremendous season and received a fraction of the attention Clark receives just for breathing. It's as if Jay wins a title and the media simply says, "Cool." Now return to Caitlyn's Instagram story. That really stings. However, it also reflects the harsh realities of modern sports. It's not always about how well you perform. It depends on how many eyeballs you bring with you. Caitlyn Clark attracts more attention than anyone else.
Previous video how this Pro-Am event originally wasn't even going to be televised, but there were so many fans who were emailing the organization saying, "How can we watch Caitlyn? Can we come to the event? Can you live stream it?" All of these things. And it ended up being put on television. And that was great. Fans were really excited about that. There was so much buzz online. She was trending on Twitter, all of the things. And the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this event. And they also did something really smart by pairing her up with their currently #1 golfer in the world.
The LPGA witnessed it. All of the major sponsors notice it. Almost every brand with a marketing budget sees it. They want someone who can sell tickets, move stuff, and generally keep the internet buzzing. Ajay Wilson, despite her great talent, has never been that type of person. She's well respected, yet she is not a continuous source of media attention. Caitlyn Clark is a storyteller, and it drives some of these veterans mad. Let's talk numbers for a second. According to rumors, the LPGA deal is valued between $6 and $8 million over 2 years. And it's not a one-time payment. It includes brand events, a few cross-promotions, and even a collaborative media effort with major brands like as Tightliced and Nike Golf.
Caitlyn Clark's so good, she's got me following golf. And thanks to her, I now know who Nelly Korda is. And if there's one thing we can count on with Clark, it's that she's going to draw.
So Clark has become an incredible bridge between basketball and golf. A true dual-sport marketing machine, moving the fans from the court to the course. And, to be honest, you can almost hear Asia's teeth grinding all the way from Las Vegas because Clark has completely overshadowed her before. Remember last year's WNBA Finals press coverage? The Aces have won the championship again. But guess who was the most popular topic on social media that same day? Yes, Clark. That type of behavior reduces respect to resentment. Furthermore, some Clark fans continue to fuel the fire. They aren't just celebrating her. They utilize her success to undermine other players. Statements such as, "She's the real face of the league," nor "She's doing more for the WNBA than anyone else." Those comments may be statistically correct, but they only add fuel to an already raging ego struggle. So when Asia received the LPGA news, she snapped, "Not enough to get fined, but just enough to send a clear message, my message. I'm weary of being the MVP who is treated as a supporting role." But here's the fun bit. Caitlyn Clark has never clapped back. Not one, she doesn't tweet about it. She does not cast any shade on anyone. She scarcely acknowledges the drama. That's a big part of why brands adore her. She's a publicist's dream. Clean, focused, and uncontroversial. Meanwhile, some become embroiled in Twitter disputes and wind up turning off advertisers. Caitlyn just keeps signing deals and remaining silent. And the silence hurts more than any trash talk ever could. Asia can win another ring, but Caitlyn will continue to make headlines for striking a golf ball on Instagram. That is the power differential in marketing. It's not fair, but it's entirely genuine. Furthermore, outside basketball supporters have weighed in on the subject. Golf enthusiasts are excited about the collaboration, believing Clark's personality will finally bring the LPGA into the public. Meanwhile, some longtime WNBA fans are rolling their eyes, claiming she's everywhere but the playoffs. The split is undeniably increasing, and the league can feel it. Now here's when things become very fascinating. That LPGA contract was not a coincidence. This was a months-long, well-planned migration. According to reports, Nike even assisted in the negotiation of some of the partnerships. They wanted to create an athlete crossover image, and Caitlyn Clark was the ideal face for that. Why? Because she already represents something more than basketball. She embodies pure buzz. Every league that works with her gains more views, clicks, and merchandise sales. So, from a business standpoint, that is genius. However, things are chaotic, and the WNBA Wilson's displeasure exemplifies what many players are silently thinking: Caitlyn's global stardom isn't being distributed equitably throughout the league. The Caitlyn Clark effect appears to have boosted the WNBA, but only for some players. Everyone else is still waiting for the tide to reach them. And now that she's expanded her impact beyond basketball, other players feel completely left out. They're out here competing for bonuses and basic marketing deals, while Caitlyn is getting multi-million-dollar contracts outside of her sport. That is the type of thing that causes genuine stress in locker rooms, interviews, and even league meetings. In the Caitlyn performance, players begin to feel like props, and viewers have undoubtedly observed this energy. Asia's tweet blew up even more. Within an hour, she began trending, and not in a positive way. Fans labeled her bitter, envious, and insecure. Some began to compare her to those who protested when Tiger Woods initially smashed golf records, saying, "Here we go again." Another celebrity is upset at someone else's success. That comparison really hurt. Asia later tried to backtrack, claiming that her tweet had been misinterpreted and that she was simply joking. But the internet had already determined what she meant. And you're familiar with how social media works. Once people choose a side, the debate becomes a complete circuit. Half the responses defended Caitlyn as if she were a national treasure. The other half reminded everyone that Wilson is still one of the best to have done it. But here is the truth. Both can be true. Caitlyn Clark could be the most marketable athlete right now, while a Jay Wilson could still feel completely undervalued. The true issue is how the league manages or fails to manage that balance. The WNBA is talking about growth, but its own stars continue to quarrel rather than celebrate each other in the league. It allows it to happen because controversy generates clicks. If the WNBA had a good public relations department, they would have immediately used this as a marketing tool. Take a look at two incredible athletes that are dominating their sports. Instead, they allowed it to escalate into another Caitlyn versus Asia's social media war. You can bet the sponsors noticed. Brands like cheerful united faces over nasty news. However, they are aware that whenever Caitlyn Clark's name becomes popular, their products sell out quickly. So guess who wins? Yes, Caitlyn again. Now for a strange twist. According to sources close to the LPGA, this partnership could be the beginning of something much bigger. They plan to hold a charity exhibition event in which WNBA and LPGA stars team up. It's supposed to highlight cross-sport sisterhood, but given how things go, it might either be the most inspiring event ever or a complete mess. Can you envision Caitlyn Clark teeing off next to Nelly Korda while Jay Wilson tries to smile in press photos? Yes, that is this year's meme stuff. Honestly, this isn't anything new. We've seen this type of jealousy before in every sport. When LeBron became the NBA's face, veteran stars were not happy either. Serena Williams started dominating tennis endorsements, and other players rolled their eyes. It is the same cycle. Success brings money, money brings awareness, and visibility brings Enya, the most recent athlete caught in the emotional crossfire. Here's the sad part. She has no idea how much she has shown Caitlyn's worth every time she reacts. The more you talk about her, the larger she grows. It's similar to the Streisand effect in sports fame. Complain sufficiently about someone, and they will become even more significant. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark has not spoken a single word. No interviews or clapbacks, just business as usual. She's undoubtedly laughing with her agent and signing her next deal as the internet continues to battle for her. And honestly, that may be the greatest strategy of all, because while everyone is debating over who deserves what, she's accumulating checks from various businesses. Basketball, golf, fashion, technology. Next thing you know, she'd be in a Netflix DACA series or a Nike movie. Caitlyn Clark is not only playing the game, she is changing the way it is promoted. And a Jay Wilson is still trying to figure out why her two MVPs aren't getting the same return. It isn't because a lacks talent. She is wonderful. It's because Caitlyn possesses what every business desires, visibility. She's the person you can build a brand around. Her fans are devoted, vocal, and always online. That's 100% gold by 2025, so while Edge events take place on Twitter, Caitlyn is establishing an Empire One endorsement at a time. But here is the true question. How long can this tension endure until it explodes into anything significant? Because it is no longer simply a Jay and Caitlyn. This dynamic could potentially fracture the league. You have old school players who believe Clark gets everything too easy. Then there's a new group of fans who believe she is solely responsible for the league's resurgence. And somewhere in the center is the WNBA front office, pretending everything is okay while secretly praying both sides keep talking so that at least some people pay attention. It's messy. It is dramatic. And it's precisely what keeps the headlines coming. However, if the WNBA does not figure out how to manage this, they will ruin the cohesiveness that they have worked so hard to develop. Because whether you love or hate Caitlyn Clark, there's no denying she's made the league bigger than ever. The goal now is to ensure that everyone benefits from it, not just her. As for a Jay Wilson, she just has two options. Keep sending out tweets that make her appear bitter or pivot and profit on the attention. Her name is currently trending due to Clark, and that is not how an MVP should appear in the media. If she's astute, she use it as a power move, signing her own large contract, launching a podcast, launching a brand or something. Show that she's more than simply the athlete who sparked outrage online, because fans value genuineness but despise pettiness. And that is the narrow line she is currently walking. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark continues to triumph on and off the court. The LPGA arrangement is simply another element of her expanding empire. And whether you like her or not, she knows how to play the fame game well. You can't teach that level of control. She is transforming silence into strategy and criticism into buzz. And if a Jay Wilson doesn't adapt soon, she keeps falling behind in the